Rhinos enter the fray for the match that pits last year's National League Grand Final winners against last year's Super League champions. And for the past 7 days anyway, they have been the champions of the world. The Leeds Rhinos have not lost in 5 months since a 10-8 reverse at St Helens in the playoffs on September the 28th, 2007. And tonight, here they are at the Jungle against bottom of the table Castleford. No wins from 4 so far, but according to their coach Terry Mattison, we are not too far away. They believe they should have won here last week against Harlequins. They led 16-12, but then lost the game 22-16 in injury time. They kept Twins out for 50 minutes, then they conceded 2 very late tries. Well, it's a near full house here at the Jungle to see Phil Bentham take control of this meeting of the Tigers and the Rhinos. And Steve-O, the underdogs, the Tigers, always love to upset Leeds if they possibly can.
They certainly do, and it'll be an interesting 10-minute start for the Tigers indeed, because they realise that perhaps Leeds may be just celebrating all this week. I know that the coach Brian McLennan allowed them to have a drink, but he would have put them back on the horse. But Castleford, they'll get into the faces of the Rhinos very early. It could be very tasty indeed.
Ryan Bailey with the first drive forward. That's great defence from the Castleford Tigers on the first tackle of this match. Let's take a look at the way the two teams line up. Ryan McGoldrick is the fullback. Then we'll see the three quarters: Donlan, Shenton, Dixon and Wainwright. It's the first time really this year that Terry Mattison's had a full-strength squad from which to choose. Dawn and Sherwin at half-back. The forwards, it's Hubie, Moore and Korkidas. And in the second row, it's Guttenbeil, Lupton, and the loose forward is Joe Westerman. And on the bench, Mark Liaffa, Andrew Henderson, Ryan Clayton and Liam Higgins. Leeds have got a few changes because of the World Club Challenge success. Kevin Sinfield though on the ball here, and Keith Senior. They both took part in that. Senior coming off the field at Ellen Road with an ankle injury. And there's one of the changes. The kick downfield is from number 21, Jordan Tansey, who replaces Danny Maguire. Let's confirm all that for you now. Fullback is Brent Webb. The three-quarter line then is Scott Donald, Ashley Gibson for the injured Tupi, Senior and Smith. The standoff half is Jordan Tansey for the injured Maguire with Rob Burrow. And then the front row, Kylie Luluwai, Matt Diskin, Ryan Bailey for the rested Jamie Peacock. The second row, it's Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Gareth Ellis. Loose forward is Kevin Sinfield. On the bench, Lautiti, Scruton, Ablett and young Luke Burgess, the elder brother of the Bradford Bulls superstar Sam.
Amazing thing, isn't it, that Brian McLennan has the luxury of being able to just rest Jamie Peacock. Still has a very strong squad. Leeds know that this Tiger outfit are going to really get into them. They know that perhaps mentally they may be just a little bit slow to get into this game.
Still the last tackle here. The kick downfield was not charged down. The ball played the man, and that's not the best from McGoldrick. Straight down the throat of Brent Webb. He'll launch the counter for the World Club champions from Headingley.
Terry Mattison, the Castleford coach, will be furious about that. There was no one in position. They knew it was the last, and they had to make sure that they got it way into the corner. Not down the throat of Brent Webb.
Scott! Bailey again will carry the battle forward for the Rhinos. There's the Castleford coach, Terry Mattison. Still bright and breezy when you talk to him, but obviously he wants the first win of the Super League campaign, if possible. And what a night to pick it up here against the World Club champions. This is Webb. Now it's with Senior. Senior gets the ball away to Scott Donald, scorer of the match-winning try last week. It looked as though it might have drifted a little forward, the pass inside, but the referee says play on as Kylie Luluwai hits the deck. Diskin, one of the heroes of Ellen Road, finds Sinfield. Sinfield to Tansey, slides the kick through. It's bouncing though far too deep and runs dead in goal.
Not a bad option though. Good build-up by the Rhinos. They're looking very confident indeed. Interesting to see how McLennan, the coach, has already given the responsibility of the kicking game to Jordan Tansey.
Have won 4 of the last 6 visits to the Jungle, but it has never been an easy place for the Rhinos to come to this. And someone who knows that better than most is John Keir, the Wakefield coach, of course, a Castleford lad. And they like nothing better than to upset these big fellas, do they, John?
No, the City Slickers, it's the first fixture you look for when you're involved with the Castleford club, is the Leeds Rhinos at home, and I'm sure that these players and coaching staff have been looking forward to this, and it's certainly set off at a helter-skelter pace, Eddie.
And I wonder whether this helter-skelter pace will tell on the Leeds Rhinos. We'll see, Steve-O, just how fit they are, because they obviously will have celebrated the World Club success last weekend. They've been back to business this week, obviously, and it's a big question mark. How will they adapt after the success of last Friday?
Certainly is, but let's not forget that Melbourne really got into them. That was a rough, tough game last Friday, and that's the reason why I think there'll be quite a few of the players in the Leeds colours that'll be a little bit stiff and sore, maybe carrying slight injuries.
Hull have hit the front at St Helens. It's 6-0 to the Black and Whites. They've got all sorts of injury problems still, Hull. And I understand that Lee Radford of Hull is out of the Hull side tonight, but that doesn't seem to make much difference early on. It's Burrow here for Leeds, and that's a real up and under. That's high. Burrow misses it, the ball bounces and evades everybody, and it's plucked out of the air by Luke Dawn in the end. Good job that he got there first.
Certainly did. I mean, that was very dangerous. You just cannot allow the ball to bounce. They had plenty of height on the kick from the little fella Rob Burrow.
Hold.
Got to make sure that you're in a good position. Good job that the standoff Dawn was there.
Good tackling by Keith Senior on young Joe Westerman. And now it's Craig Hubie for the Castleford Tigers. On the fourth tackle, they're still inside their own half of the field. That was Moore. He finds Dawn. Dawn then brings the number 16, Peter Lupton, who's celebrating his 26th birthday today, back on his inside. On halfway, looping pass to Sherwin. And Sherwin with a deep kick downfield, which will skip away and run a dead in goal.
Just a bit off the pace. It's taken Sherwin quite a while to settle in. Last week he played exceptionally well. Most people here down at the Jungle, they cannot believe how they lost against Harlequins. Comfortable lead with just a minute and a half remaining. The Quins got up in the end. No doubt that Terry Mattison would have worked on their, shall we say, fitness. They've got to play for the full 80 minutes.
Eddie, although Castleford have played 4 and lost 4 so far, they've actually scored first in 3 of those games. It's in the second half that they've really fallen away. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've played a very mistake-free mindset to begin this game. Simple with the ball, trying to get into Leeds' half of the field and keep the errors to a minimum, which has probably cost them so far this season. But Leeds will attack you and keep the ball alive.
And they're doing exactly that here. They're looking to get away with it, though. Sinfield. Ball from Senior finds Donald. Donald is halted, standing up, manages to keep in the field of play, came back to the right just a couple of paces. Burrow, the dummy half. Here's Jamie Jones-Buchanan now. Good run from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, this. And he is grounded 10 metres away from the Castleford Tigers line on the last. Diskin, a dummy half, finds Sinfield. Sinfield, left-footed kick, bouncing high, but plucked out of the air by Lupton.
Good position, whereas rather surprising, Leeds don't normally go for the short kick. So often they opt to kick into the corner, especially when the game is under floodlights. They've acquitted themselves quite well of the Tigers so far. Pretty solid defence, getting there in numbers.
This is Owen Guttenbeil. One of the Tigers' best so far in 2008, on halfway. Plays the ball to McGoldrick. McGoldrick finds Sherwin. They ferry it out wide. And that was a wasted effort in the end from Kirk Dixon.
It's impossible to try to get a pass away when you don't even know what position your winger's going to be in. It's okay testing your arm. If you're panicking, you're chasing the game, but not so early. The one thing that the Tigers have to do, if they're going to beat this Leeds outfit, they realise they've got to play some open rugby league football as well. They can't just try to snuff Leeds down throughout the full 80 minutes. They've got to be adventurous themselves.
Yeah, just admired the Tigers because they'd got in the modern parlance, the arm wrestle. They were playing set for set, and then Kirk Dixon just lost his patience, and it's that little chinks like that that Leeds Rhinos take full advantage of.
That's a wonderful offload again from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and a great run from Diskin, skipping and dancing his way across the line, but he's lost it, and Scott Moore picks the ball up for the Tigers, and then he loses it.
Well, Diskin is screaming that it was ripped out.
Yeah, it's knock on.
This is the incident where Dixon just flicked it to nobody. Michael Wainwright, no chance to get that.
Yeah, he wants to throw in the room.
So Leeds will get another chance from another scrum, but this time it's about 12 metres further forward towards the Castleford line, with Senior here. Ankle injury that forced him off the field last week, but looks fully recovered, doesn't he? And here now is Jordan Tansey trying to grab his opportunity tonight with Danny Maguire out injured with both hands. Senior again at dummy half, 19 metres away from the line. It's Sinfield, good ball to Gareth Ellis. And Ellis is turned over and dumped on his back at the end of tackle number 3. 11 metres away from the line now, Diskin. Diskin to Rob Burrow. Burrow then gets the pass away. This is Kylie Luluai.
A little bit short on the right-hand side.
Diskin comes back in towards the post. Ellis on the charge.
Great tackle by Moore.
Important tackle from Moore, it was. Diskin on the last. Slides the kick in. And Craig Hubie drops on the loose ball ever so gratefully.
Well, it's amazing. Again, Leeds in a strong position, not utilising the kick out towards the wingers. They've got the quality. Lee Smith, Scott Donald.
And Craig Hubie did very well there actually to defuse that little kick through.
He did real well, but they might be trying to test out Ryan McGoldrick. They tried him out with a high kick early on, and they might be looking at his positioning round about the goal line, because obviously he's not normally a fullback.
Scott Moore wants to get on with it. This is the last tackle. They're running it, the Castleford Tigers. Dixon with the kick. Bounces for Webb. Webb comes back towards the touchline. Altered the direction, came back in field. Good job he did as well. Lee Smith from dummy half.
What about the confidence shown there by Brent Webb? Not many people would go from the outside, right back on the blind side when they're kicking to the corner. But he's just got so much confidence that he's not going to be put over the touchline.
This is Scott Donald. He was the man, of course, who got the try for Brian McLennan's men in the World Club Challenge a week ago. Sinfield was the man of the match then, dumps it off to Webb, and Webb then gets it infield to Ashley Gibson.
That's the best defensive set Castleford have put in, Eddie. I know we're 11 minutes into the match, but they've just contained Leeds, so probably a 20-metre, 30-metre gain in that set, and it's a very, very good effort.
Burrow will slide the kick through. Oh, and McGoldrick got a touch on that. He did. This will be a goal line dropout. Oh, the referee points to the 20-metre mark.
That's a big call.
I'm sure that McGoldrick got a fingertip to that.
Well, he certainly lunged at it. There's the finish if you're going over the dead in goal line. Oh, very interesting call. Oh, tremendous stuff from Burrow.
Referee gives Castleford the penalty now as we watch that replay. Did he get a fingertip to that?
Hard to see. I think he did.
But it doesn't matter now because Castleford have got the penalty on 20.
Okay, cheers.
Leeds will be quite happy just to expect the Tigers just to trundle up with the forwards, and then maybe get Castleford will get into a position to be able to come up with something different. But quite often to get them through this Leeds defence, you've got to launch something deep within your own half.
They won't be worried about that just yet though, Steve-O. They're just content to play it out. There's Mike McLennan, a familiar face on the right of your screen, formerly with the Saints, of course, all those years ago, pre-Super League. And of course, here watching his son, Brian, coach of the Rhinos, as Hubie loses possession.
Well, he looks at the official, Phil Bentham, and says, oh, come on. Matt Diskin surely had a hand in that. Well, they've kitted him out well. Of the Rhinos, that's for sure. He'll be warm.
Gibson.
Good to see Ashley Gibson back, isn't it? He played in the reserves against Wakefield pre-season in a trial game, and he looked very, very sharp indeed, and obviously another emerging young talent from the Leeds Academy.
Indeed so, taking the place of Clinton Tupy, who will be out for up to 4 months, we believe, with that sprung shoulder. Oh, Brent Webb has fooled Sherwin and nearly fooled the entire Castleford defence then, but Michael Shenton was in quickly. Jamie Jones-Buchanan at dummy half. Here now is Sinfield. Sinfield flicks the ball back to Bailey. Bailey having another go at this Castleford defence. End of tackle number 4. They are in centre field. Midway inside the half. And here is a great run from Diskin. He finds Senior. It was dropped. The try was begging then.
Great opportunity. Will of the wisp, rugby league football. Oh, that was sensations, wasn't it?
And we're only a month into the season, I know, but if there was an award for the most improved player at this stage, it would certainly go to Matt Diskin. He really has been a massively different player. It's almost like they've signed a new hooker. Very strong defensively last year, but he's now able to combine his defensive effort with a far more threatening outlook in attack. You see him in the acting halfback position, he'll scan quickly the opposition defence to see where there may be any holes, and then he has the pace. He's sharpened up, I think, and far more threatening there for Leeds now in that dummy half zone.
There he is, first in the tackle then as that pass came infield.
Not only that, he knows how to slow the game down. He was one of the major reasons why Leeds became the World Club champions last Friday.
Yes, he's rediscovering the form that got him international honours in 2004. Matt Diskin. This, meanwhile, is Owen Gutenbiel for the Tigers.
Watch for the blindside switch after this one.
It's with Sherwin, and McGoldrick somehow hangs on, gets it wide to Shenton. Shenton's pass is awful. Nothing that Wainwright could do about that.
Well, Dixon did it a few moments ago, and now the other centre, Shenton, does exactly the same thing.
Second, right?
Well, I
Bad
said
technique.
They've identified exactly where they could hurt the Rhinos, both on the left and the right. The just passing execution has let them down. It was great preparation there. They've done the homework, John, but the ball couldn't get to the mine time.
No, they certainly have. It's just the composure, and I think that's the difference between a team who's probably won forward on the bounce and one that's lost forward on the bounce. They're just lacking that bit of confidence, that bit of composure that Leeds sort of have in abundance at the minute.
Couple of players, Ryan Bailey, one of them, needs a touch of blood taken away from his nose.
We knew he was going to be torrid in the only 15, and it certainly has been that way.
Back in.
Remember the first time we came here against Catalan, the Tigers' defence was a little bit all over the shop.
Here goes Scott Donald, he's got the pace. Burrows inside him, but Scott Donald will not need anybody. And Scott Donald scores the first try for the Leeds Rhinos after 15 and a half minutes. Well, they're made to pay. No wonder he's furious, Terry Matheson, because the pass was careless by Shenton.
No problem there.
Wainwright had no chance, and from the base of the scrum, that it looks simple, but this is something that they work on daily in training. And look at the pace of Donald here.
Should have been man-on-man marking, and they paid the price there. Donald just completely stood up Stuart Donlan. Bang. No one at home. The back rower couldn't get anywhere near him, and Scott Donald is in fine form, this fella. He's scoring tries for fun, but it was a well-worked move on that short blind side.
That was his 50th try in Leeds colours. And, well, Ryan McGoldrick there in the front of your picture, and the rest of the Castleford players, Donlan included, they were nowhere to be seen then when Scott Donald headed off down the other end of the field. And Kevin Sinfield, it's no problem to a kicker of Sinfield's quality, and the Rhinos are 6-0 up.
They see Donlan has just pulled it back on the inside. When it's on the short blind side with the scrum, you always do man-on-man marking. That was poor defence, take nothing away from Leeds, and Donald to score the try. It was well worked, but it's easy when your winger comes out of that strong position. You've got to look your opposition in the eye.
Would you ask the question, John, of Ryan McGoldrick there, why he wasn't looking at his opposite player, Brett Webb?
No, I wouldn't. It's a system that Castleford use to defend 5 on the big side and just 1 on the short side, and they trust the back rower to come out laterally and the scrum half to drop away from the scrum. They just didn't do it quick enough, but you've got to applaud as well the skill of Leeds to carry out that crisp passing that released Scott Donald.
Well, Leeds ahead here, and as you've just seen, Hull are ahead at St Helens 12 points to 4. It's Diskin here for the Rhinos. He gets it away to Luluai, who finds Ellis. Well, St Helens went very, very close to the wind, of course, against Wakefield last week, before they won in the last couple of minutes of the game. And we'll have a match report from Rod Studd on what's happening at Nosey Road during our Super League Extra Time, which is available on the red button after we've finished here. This is the last tackle for Leeds, the kick from Brent Webb. Good kick too. Great kick. It means they have to run it out.
Great chase as
It's
well.
a wonderful chase.
Well, they're really in zip-up form on the Leeds. They're eager, they're keen, they've got the mantle of the world champions on their shoulders. And I must say, I've been so impressed with the way that Kevin Sinfield has just orchestrated everything out there, both in attack and defence. He's zipping in on this quick on the blind side, then he wanted on the open. He's controlling things.
Kokidas is picked up by Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Kylie Luluai. Forced back, the end of tackle number 4. Here's Owen Guttenbeil now, the New Zealand international, who gets the ball away, dropped by Scott Moore, but went backwards is the version of the referee. Good ball then to Shenton, comes inside Scott Donald. Donald recovers well. Quick play the ball. It's Sherwin, good ball that to Westerman, tries to knob it down the line. Still going Westerman, he has support, he doesn't need him. Westerman will score. A touch of luck about it. Referee hasn't given it yet. He just wants to see what happens with the kick, whether there was a knock on by Westerman. But Brent Sherwin was in support. The young man decided he wasn't needed.
It was the wrong option. You can see there that Stuart Donlan has got no one there to him, and that was wonderful work by Brent Sherwin. Remember, nothing wrong with that. That's just ricocheted all over the place. Side on. That's off the knee. Let's play on.
Well, sometimes a ricochet works for you, and sometimes it works against you.
Well, it certainly did. I was there at the game at St Helens last week, John, and I know that you must have been absolutely gutted by the fact seconds remaining and it just wobbled around. But I think he's going to give this, surely.
The try that the Quins scored here last week to win them the game really had an element of luck as well. The ball bouncing in their favour as it went through. Bad luck there from Matt Diskin. He didn't prevent the try, but good effort there from the hooker.
It's a greater effort though from Joe Westerman. The try is given to the 2007 National League One Young Player of the Year. Gets his first try of the campaign. He's a goal kicker as well, being compared to the likes of Andy Farrell and Paul Sculthorpe. It's a huge, huge reputation to try and live up to. But Westerman then, all right, a touch of fortune, but you make your own luck, don't you?
Look how Sherwin knew that Donald had come in to make that last gasp tackle. He knew that he'd go down the blind side, and he knew that the only man that had to fill in was Keith Senior. Tried to take 2 positions, and they paid the price.
So Westerman, that's the angle he's got. Can he add the extras? He's just pushed it the wrong side of the post. So the Rhinos still have the advantage, but Castleford will be encouraged by the fact that they've got over the Leeds line.
Got to be a quick thinker. You can see Donald has just got up from after doing the tackle. Sherwin says there's going to be nobody there. Senior has to come in and take 2. So did Webb. Okay, element of luck. But you make your own luck to score tries.
Dawn was underneath the kickoff. They're running with a little bit more zip just now, the Castleford Tigers. 5 new faces added to the squad that got them promotion to the Super League last year. Sherwin, Dawn, Kokidas, Moore on loan from St Helens, and Tom Harbright. Talking of St Helens, they have clawed their way back into the match against Hull, but they're still on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Here Castleford have clawed their way back into the match, but they too on the wrong side of the scoreboard at the moment. Here's the try scorer, Westerman. Plays the ball to Moore. Moore then finds Sherwin. Sherwin to Dawn. Up the kick goes from Luke Dawn. That's hanging. Big test for Lee Smith here. Does well. He's bundled into touch though.
Perfect timing. They made sure they didn't take him whilst he was in the air. That would have been a penalty to the Rhinos. They held back. Soon as the leg touched the floor, bang, straight in. That's good play, good thinking. You know, I thought perhaps the Tigers may struggle with the fact that they'd lost Danny Brough. He went on his way to Wakefield. But they certainly have got a good player in Brent Sherwin. You need thinkers out on the park, John. You have to have people that know what to do at certain times.
Yeah, he's a very clever player, is Brent Sherwin, obviously finding his way in the Castleford lineup. But also Luke Dawn's contribution there was very good. A high kick, and it was real clever play from the Castleford chasers, as you pointed out, Steve. Just let him take the ball and put him over the sideline.
Here's a chance for McGoldrick. It goes wide to Wainwright, and Wainwright gives Castleford Tigers the lead. Donlan it is, I beg your pardon. Wonderful try. Great try from Stuart Donlan. He has missed the last three. He was injured scoring a try against Catalan here in round one. And Donlan, on the end of a wonderful Castleford Tigers move, swept the ball from one side of the field to the other.
It all came about with a high kick. They waited until he hit the deck, then got him over the whitewash, and straight from the scrum base. We often say teams don't use the second phase. They did. That was superb. Fullback chiming through, the winger finishes it off. It is a perfect rugby league try. It's as simple as that. Dummy runner coming back one way. Come on the arc, just sucking your opposition. Donald had nothing to do otherwise than go for the man coming at him, and then the overlap was there, and it was finished by Donlan. They're running hot, the Tigers.
Can Westerman add the extras? No, he's pushed it to the wrong side of the post again, and he's furious with himself. Well, two quick tries for Castleford has changed this game around.
They needed to get their own crowd excited, Eddie, and they've done that here now by taking the lead. I love to see tries from scrums, particularly when the balls move wide to the wing. And I tell you what, there'll be very few teams this year who can score a try from a scrum as easily as Castleford made that look then against a team of the quality of this Leeds outfit. I mean, Leeds are renowned, Eddie, as being one of the fastest, if not the quickest side in Super League. And yet the skill and the timing and the angles of the run there from the Tigers' backs made it look so simple.
24 minutes gone. Castleford with their noses in front. Oh, what a hit. Oh, Diskin has been penalised for that, and Castleford didn't like it. Castleford believe, and the referee has confirmed the fact that it was a high shot, but
I don't think it was.
I thought originally it was over the shoulder, I must say.
I think it's not. He's got caught him on the chest and the ball carrying arm. I think he's been badly done to here. Nothing wrong with that at all. Not even a grapple tackle. He's still holding the shirt. Bang.
No, it's a great piece of defence from Matt Diskin. He rushed out of the defensive line. He selected the correct runner. Nothing wrong at all with that. That's just a great piece of defence and been incorrectly penalised.
It's didn't even come up, that one. It's straight across the ball. Tackle, Kev. Clear. Mate, you'll see it. It's not.
Kevin Sinfield says you will see that. It is not a high tackle, but Phil Bentham is absolutely convinced it was.
Can't run in. Just infuriates everybody. Gets everybody wound up. We've ended up with 13, 14 players in the
He's just having a word now. Scott Moore is telling him not to run in. So the penalty is given to Castleford. But I think Kevin Sinfield's view of events was the correct one.
Well, it looked okay in normal speed as we thought. As we were all commentating. It was. Did that go forward? Look at he get away with that. Colquhoun just looked to me as though he overrun that ball. Won't make the same mistake again.
Here is Hubie. The referee had blown for the penalty before all the skirmish started.
Hey, when you're bottom of the league, Eddie, you need a few things to go in your favour. Here's another one. He's going to get sent to the sin bin here. Phil Bentham's already sent 6 players to Simonane for just 4 games. He's going to make this number 7.
Well,
It might be worse than this.
I'm not so sure that Owen Guttenbeil.
He wants a report from his touch judge. It could be red, Phil. It doesn't have to be yellow. That is hard.
Yeah. And that's silly play.
Okay.
You've been penalised incorrectly, and then you will be penalised correctly.
You've got to keep it lower. That's a warning on high tackles.
He's escaped. Red or yellow. 2 in the space of a minute and a half. It's on report. I wonder if we'll hear more about that next week. He was frustrated because the first was given.
Yeah.
That wasn't high, but that one definitely was.
But he's got to be a professional. You've got to push that to one side. Brian McLennan's not impressed. He'd be happy that he's still out there in the field.
Korkidas will drive it in for Castleford. Now it's with Sherwood. Short ball to Guttenbeil. This is when your heart's pounding and you've got to stand up and you've got to be brave. When you're in the yellow of Castleford.
Switch left side.
This is Sherwin. Sherwin to Dawn. Dawn to McGoldrick. Wide it goes. Dixon. Wainwright over the top. Dixon again.
Oh, what a great tackle there. Unbelievable by Scruton, I think it was.
It was. It's Dawn again. Now it's Hubie. Hubie driving it forward. That's the 4th tackle. Castleford are 5-6 metres away from the line. Here's Scott Moore. Scott Moore with the pass to Guttenbeil, who drops it.
It was a dolly as well. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just making the point earlier when the official Phil Bentham called over Matt Diskin and they were all screaming for him to be sent off. Guttenbeil was dancing around and saying, go, 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 go.
Get tight in there.
12 minutes to half-time. Leeds fans in this big crowd trying to rally the world champions. The Castleford Tigers sensing blood.
Well, they might want to rally the referee as well. I think the penalty count's 5-0 in favour of the Tigers, and sooner or later you know that the Rhinos are going to get one. The supporters are hoping it's in this next set to get them out of trouble.
Second.
Ashley Gibson.
Go.
What a match to come back into this is. Oh, and a mistake, a rare mistake from Gareth Ellis.
Took his eyes off the ball there, looking at the man coming towards him. But at all 6s and 7s, the Rhinos at the moment, and they're there for the taking. Castleford will be desperate to get more points on the board.
Moore to Korkidas. Thundering challenges from Diskin and Sinfield on him. Moore tries to go underneath them all.
Another switch, surely. Run on the angles.
McGoldrick to Sherwin. Sherwin comes back on the inside. Jamie Jones-Buchanan managed to apply the brakes as well.
He was looking for someone coming back on the inside. He wasn't there.
Dawn slides the kick through. McGoldrick! Oh, and it's snapped out of his hands. That's a try-saver by Jordan Tansey.
I think the video referee would have been the try-saver there, Eddie, because I think Ryan McGoldrick was actually in front of the kicker. If you just look here...
Yeah, might have been.
But you don't rely on the video referee, as Mr. Tansey quite rightly
let's
get rid of it.
Bang, let's get out of here.
Tell you what, you see it on that angle, John. Maybe he wasn't in front of the kick. It would have been frame by frame. It's academic because it was no try, but it's a goal line dropout. And Sherwin has it. Now Korkidas does. Well, Scruton come flying in.
Wait.
He hasn't been on long, but he's certainly putting himself about.
Hubie will drive forward now.
Second.
Listen to this crowd here. It has lifted this game.
Go.
Moore trying to go between 2 of them.
And move. Hands out.
3 tackles gone. McGoldrick and Sherwin. Short ball to Westerman.
4.
Senior dealt with him.
Go.
Now, Sherwin again. Slides the kick in. Well, this is a possibility for Luke Dawn.
He'll go to the screen.
Surely handed it to Willie. Yes, he has. But it's the second time in about a minute and a half that Leeds have been undone by the kick of Sherwin.
He looked as though he was going to push it right into the corner and then put it on the outside. I think he's all right. I think he's okay.
Yeah, well, I called the other one, Steve-O, with the naked eye, and I'm doing the same with this one. I think he's okay this time as well.
Yes.
It was just that step behind. It's a beautifully weighted kick, highly skilled kick there, and a lovely chase.
Yep.
It was McGoldrick last time, it's John this time.
This will be given. And the Rhinos are rocking.
Then,
Nothing wrong with
onside.
the touchdown.
Touch was called onside.
Yeah, he's fine. You can see quite clearly. Sherwin's boot is on the whitewash and it's gone away. Beautiful combination between the two halfbacks. They've been playing well. Nothing wrong with the touchdown, as I said earlier. And the Tigers are roaring.
Luke Dawn, full-back in the first three. He's been at standoff for the last two now, and it's a try for Luke Dawn and a try for the Castleford Tigers. They were 6-0 down, remember. They're now 12-6 up, and a kick to come from Westerman.
Some tape like that.
And the big problem for the Rhinos, they cannot get the ball. Possession has hardly been in their hands for the last 10 minutes at least, and that is where the Tigers have taken control.
Has there been a better half hour in Super League this year for the Tigers than this?
Spot on. Beautiful kick. Mentioned the fact that it was Kevin Sinfield that's orchestrating things for the Leeds Rhinos, but this number 7, Brent Sherwin, is just playing out of his skin. Super stuff. It looked as though it was going to go out wide, and that has confused Brent Webb, the full-back. You can see Webb, he'd given up. He was expecting it to go out into the corner.
Westerman this time adds the extras, and the Castleford Tigers are ahead by 14 points to 6 against the men who 7 days ago were celebrating on top of the world.
Oh, that's a big hit right into the face there of Korkidas.
Go.
That should have been picked up by the officials. They've got to be very careful, Leeds.
Move. Hold.
Well, I don't know about the best half hour, Eddie, but it's certainly been the best 10 minutes, and Castleford have just dominated possession with the penalties and scoring repeat tries, and they really have got a roll on, and it really is a derby match.
Very much a derby match, it really is. Actually, the way that they've responded, John, as well, to going 6-0 down, to fight back to 14-6 ahead. Terry Matteson's been saying, well, all week, they're not far away.
And I think he's right. They're playing some real good rugby league, controlled rugby league, and the pressure's on the Rhinos, the world champions.
In many ways, you know, Eddie, Leeds scoring first could have been a negative for them. It could have been a case of how easy is this going to be when Donald raced away from that blindside from the scrum win. They maybe just slackened off and say, right, we've got them. We're the world champions. You can't think that. It's never easy to come down here in the Tigers' den.
Luke Burgess is on. This is Rob Burrow. Luke Burgess, who played for Harlequins on loan last year, and he was involved in the Millennium Magic weekend. And here he is now. And there he is in charge of the ball at the moment for the Rhinos, playing for the world champions here. Elder brother of Bradford Sam. He was at Quins and Doncaster last year. Burrow just drifts the kick over the top. It's a good kick. It's well fielded. Burrow following up brings Michael Wainwright to ground.
That's a big play.
McGoldrick, knock on under his own post.
What a big play from Rob Burrows, though. He put boot to ball, and he was the first there in the chase. That's a massive play, and that's the pressure that's caused the error.
Terry Matteson will be fuming over this. This is the kick there from Burrow. He's the first man in. They do everything right. Wainwright goes across, realises he's got to be beaten. Burrow low down, and the fullback makes a big error.
This is a big set of 6 in this match for both sides. If Castleford survive, confidence will grow. Lauatiti for Leeds. Still Lauatiti, the big man. Still Lauatiti, forced back. Second tackle.
Wait, go.
Diskin. Diskin finds Burrow, who caused this mayhem for Castleford. Local boy.
Great defence. Great defence. Castleford over on that left-hand side went out very quickly, forced Burrow back on the inside.
Here's Jordan Tansey back on the inside to Burgess. Burgess Almost goes to ground. Tackle number 4. Diskin waits at dummy half. Diskin looks for the runners, takes the responsibility himself, flicks it out. Tansey gets it away. And that was Ablett, who was held up just short. Last tackle here for the Rhinos. Sinfield. Ball bounces. Who wants it first? The Tigers do.
It's a knock on.
Referee says knock on.
Hooby got the fingertips to that. They applied the pressure. Sinfield didn't get a very good kick in, but Hooby got the fingertips to it. And it's more pressure for the Tigers now. They're out on their feet. They're struggling. Will they do a set move, the Rhinos, from the base? Will they go on the short blind again?
Worrying times for Terry Mattison. Here is Sinfield. This is Brent Webb. Webb gives it to Senior, who goes without.
He's knocked on.
Castleford survive, and they're celebrating here like they've just scored a try.
Well, he's blaming Brent Webb, saying it was a shocking pass. I'm not so sure he should have got that. Didn't as though Webb just threw it hard, he just lifted it up for him.
And they're celebrating as if they've just won the match.
Yes, they are. Well, maybe with that moment, they've got confidence that they can win the match against all the odds. Bottom of the table, Castleford. Played 4, lost 4. Leeds, played 4 in Super League, won 4. World Club champions. Look at the scoreline.
And there's very one relieved player out in the Castleford colours. It's a full-back, Ryan McGoldrick. Came up with a shocking error, tried to run away quickly from the dummy half.
Guttenbeil, good offload.
I made the comment that he early in this...
Knock on again.
That's
He's furious.
That's a big call again. I made the comment earlier that, you know, Castleford just couldn't play tight. They had to give some open football, and that's what they've done. That's the reason why they're leading 14-6. Been very impressed with the way the Tigers are playing.
Scott Moore with the knock on, and yet more pressure on this Castleford line, albeit this time though from 40 metres out. It's with Tansey, and it goes wide to Gibson. Gibson taking them on. Goes down in the tackle.
Hold. Go.
Well, they would buy the half-time siren now, Castleford, for whatever the jungle is worth. 3 minutes to hang on. Burgess on the charge.
Good play by the young kid as well. Neat little offload by the hooker, Matt Diskin.
He's a rough, tough character, 21-year-old Luke Burgess. Diskin to Burrow. Back it goes to Webb. And Webb will come up the middle. And they get him down.
Michael, 2 feet.
That's 4 tackles gone. Can Castleford survive this again? Burrow, Senior, back to Burrow, another knock on. The referee hasn't blown, but he will now, he's in touch. Not so sure the referee gave the knock on, I didn't hear it, mind you, you wouldn't hear it, it's pandemonium.
Certainly, yes, the crowd are really enjoying this. No doubt about it. But
Burrow didn't hear the whistle either if it blew.
No, he's too crafty as a little half-back. Beep, beep, says, I'll carry on. You play to the whistle. That was good thinking on both defence and the attack. They know they're in a big arm wrestle here to the Rhinos. It's not going to be easy for them.
Rob Burrow is a Castleford lad.
Hold. Go.
And there's a real ding-dong battle going on at Knowsley Road, as there is here at the Jungle. That, though, is Super League 13. The best entertainment that you can find anywhere. Mind you, we're biased.
Go.
Just truthful, not biased.
4 and move. Wait.
McGoldrick waits at dummy half. Tries to go around Sinfield, gets the ball in field to Dawn. Big hit again by Diskin and Burrow. Last tackle here. Leeds are going to get another set of 6, are they? Good kick. This
backspin on that.
It's a great kick. Lee Smith with a chaser fell. Dixon got to Lee Smith just in the nick of time.
Big problems for Leeds. It looks like Nick Scruton, he's receiving treatment.
Offside against Castleford, not standing square to the play of the ball is the signal from Phil Bentham.
They want to get on with it to the Rhinos, but Scruton having running repairs at the moment. That's a great kick.
I think, unless I'm mistaken, Steve, that's the first penalty Leeds have received, and it's minute 39.
Well, remember, yes, the first penalty, you're right. Remember what happened in the dying seconds of the match here on Sunday against Harlequins. Castleford, have they learned the lesson? Burgess trundles the ball forward again. They've got plenty of time. They've got 25 seconds. Burrow. Here is Sinfield. Sinfield is grounded by the tackle. Maybe time for 1, 2 more. Lautite for Leeds. Thought about the offload. Castleford wrap him up. Down he goes. They will get one more attempt. 5 seconds remaining.
Got to go for the kick option.
Well,
Oh, he nearly regathered it.
it's all over now. Knock on. There's the half-time siren.